Loam is part of the upper area of the Earth's crust, which has been transformed for millennia under the influence of weather, flora, and fauna. Soil formation, the breakdown products of inorganic and organic substances are converted and built up into new components, which include different kinds of loam. Climatic regions and geological foundations determine the varying composition of the local earth, which results in different potentials as a building material. But as the formation process of loam is comparable in most regions, loam is to be found and used for constructing almost everywhere on Earth. Around 10,000 BC, mankind's food procurement shifted from hunting and gathering towards agriculture and animal farming. Permanent housing made out of earth and wood became necessary. The oldest building remains from that period have been found in Southwest Asia. In many places on Earth, construction with loam has a long-time tradition. For example, parts of the Great Wall of China are made out of earth, and also the ancient Egyptians dried and later processed mud into bricks. Representations from around 1500 BC are showing this production process. The potential loam building techniques can be categorized into three major methods, one of them being rammed earth, where loam mixed with necessary additives such as sand and water is introduced layer by layer using a mobile formwork structure that makes it possible to compact the loam by manually ramming it.
The Weller technique describes the process where wet loam is mixed with straw and piled up in layers to form a wall section. A so-called set, a layer of approximately 50 to 60 centimeters height, dries for several days and is later carved and shaped with a spade. After a further drying phase, a new set can be applied. To form Adobe Bricks, loam is put into molds and later left to dry in the open air. With appropriate types of loam, it is possible to burn those bricks at around 1000 degrees to create masonry bricks. Additional weather resistance and stronger firmness are advantages of this technique. To properly design with loam, a couple of construction guidelines must be followed. For example, loam generally erodes when exposed to water, which for example makes roof overhangs in areas with heavy rainfalls necessary. Furthermore, earth walls cannot be clamped and therefore have to be arranged in such a way that they stiffen. Constructed properly, loam is offering many advantages over constructions out of other materials. Due to its ability to absorb moisture and releasing it, loam is a great regulator for indoor humidity. And by offering a lot of mass, it is able to regulate indoor temperature and is therefore saving heating and cooling energy. Loam in general can be considered a very sustainable construction material. With loam, usually transportation routes are short and with little energy, it's easily recyclable. And even if not fed back into the material cycle, by being a natural building material, it results in non-critical waste.
The indigenous population of Cuba developed various construction techniques and vernacular huts. Over the years, the indigenous round canals disappeared, but the rectangular bohías survived and developed into the archetype of the Cuba farmers and rural worker house. The single-story house with low pitch roof are constructed with local building materials and are perfectly adapted to the climatic condition of the country. Either the walls are made out of palm wood panel or by a truss construction made of lianas in combination with an adobe plaster. In Cuba, due to the USA embargo that followed the revolution in 1958, imported building materials is very expensive. Under these circumstances, buildings like, for example, the National School of Art were built using locally produced born bricks and terracotta tiles. To tackle the ongoing housing crisis, the authorities recommend the population to use limestone and clay as their go-to construction materials, as around 70% of Cuba's surface is made up of rocks and minerals useful for production materials such as tiles and Loam bricks. One example of how these traditional building materials are implemented is the program of the National Ministry of Sugar. It is launching a strong housing program to attract necessary workforce by creating small settlements that have the condition of a rural habitat, built with locally available materials.